I like to enjoy myself and have a good time and be playful, and I think that hopefully feeds into working as a filmmaker, as a creative person, is that you've got to just remember what it was like just to run around in the woods and make-believe games, and I still love make-believe. I remember very clearly the transition from flares to straight trousers. I had flares, and they weren't very good flares. They weren't even bags or anything. They were flares from the knee. And I wanted to have straight trousers. My mum wouldn't buy them for me. So I got my sister to take in my trousers, but from the knee. So she took them in very, very badly, so that I couldn't get my feet actually down the trousers because they were taken in so tight. And so then I had this kind of slightly jodhpur look with very tight from the knee to the ankle, but then quite balloony above the knee. And I thought I stood out, and I thought I really looked good. And my dad said to me, who always said, stand out, don't be like everyone else. He said, I know I said that, but I'm not so sure what I meant was wearing that. One of the biggest influences on my life was Raymond Carver. I loved Raymond Carver. I wanted to write like Raymond Carver, and that's what I thought I would do. But at the same time, I realised it was never going to be, it was never going to be quite for me, because you had to be on your own when you were writing. I realised, well, you're writing on your own, not with other people, and I love being with other people, and I love working with other people. And so I thought, I won't do that. I'll do something which is more to do with things that I love, and I loved film. And I loved movies. Loved movies when I was a kid. Used to always watch old black and white movies on TV, and I loved, especially musicals. I loved Gene Kelly, and I loved Fred Astaire, and I loved Debbie Reynolds, and I loved those movies. And I thought I wanted to be a filmmaker. And when I came to university and I started to go and see art movies in the Curzon, and I realised I fell in love with kind of French Nouvelle Vague, and I fell in love with like these French movies like Bout de Souffle, and I fell in love with Jean Seberg with her short hair, and I love with François Truffaut and Eric Romer, and I love those kind of filmmakers. And I suppose that's what inspired me and made me think I wanted to be a filmmaker, because I thought what they were doing was so fresh and wild and kind of crazy, and it was about alive, being on the streets, and so they would be my heroes. Inspiration comes from everywhere, from libraries, and from magazines, and from galleries, and from films and stuff, and records, and anything, and dance. Angela was a dancer when I first met her, and I didn't know anything about dance, and I said, I've got to find out about dance. I've got to figure out about dance. I went to see these dances with her, contemporary dance, and I was like, I don't get it, I don't understand it. She said, dance is for dancers. If you're going to watch dance, you've got to be able to understand dance. And I said, well, how do I understand dance? You have to go to dance class. So we went to the Erdang, which is this dance class in Covent Garden, contemporary dance. I'd never done contemporary dance before, never done dance before. So I turned up, and I said, what do I wear? What do I wear for the dance class? She goes, just wear tracksuits, just wear tracksuits. So I turn up in tracksuits. No one's wearing tracksuits, everyone's in a leotard. This is the men, everyone's in leotards and dance shoes. I'm in a tracksuit, Adidas tracksuit, old style, Adidas tracksuit, quite cool looking, with trainers. No one had trainers, and of course everyone had ballet pumps. So I say to the teacher, and Andrew's in the class, she said, go to the teacher and say to the teacher, it's your first class. So I said, right, okay. I told her it's my first class, and she said, I recognise it's your first class, look what you're wearing. You have to take your training shoes off and your socks and everything and go to the bar. So we go to the bar, and we're all around the outside of the dance studio, and the class starts. She says, get in the first position, second position. I didn't know any of this, so we get into these positions. And then I don't know where the teacher's gone. She disappeared. She's right standing behind me. Next thing I do, I feel her hand go between the top of my thighs from behind and raise up like this. And I'm like, it's a dance class? I'm paying for this? And she said, squeeze, squeeze. So I thought I was squeezing. And she was trying to make me to squeeze my buttocks together to be in the right position. Anyway, she stood behind me for 20 minutes in this dance class. Everyone else is jumping around, and I'm just squeezing my buttocks. And from that moment, I understood dance. It's about squeezing your buttocks. So whenever I see dance, I just look at buttocks. Career-wise, my biggest disappointment, it's a weird one. Quite a few years ago, I had an opportunity to, and you could say this is maybe a good thing I didn't do it, but I was asked to actually direct Charlie's Angels, the film Charlie's Angels. And I loved Charlie's Angels, the TV show. I loved it, and I was like, I'm not doing Charlie's Angels. That is going to be rubbish, and it's not going to take off. How wrong was I? And only made $500 million worldwide, But anyway, so I said, don't do it. So that was perhaps a bad idea to have said no to that. Maybe I should have agreed to it. But apart from that, most of the decisions that I've made, I made them, I think, for the best reasons, whether they be creative ones or personal ones or ones where I felt I could do a really good job, and also wanted to work with really interesting people. And I think that I've been lucky enough to be able to do that.